Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a fairly short video. One of our subscribers, Tanka, I'll link his channel in the description, has asked us if we can show how to black out the front and back Griffin badges. Now on the Corsa E, if you come a little bit closer, the Griffin badge is actually part of the boot assembly, so if you open this up, this whole unit's got to come off. It's not like it's a little stuck-on badge. So here's the tools we're going to need for today's job: a Torx T15, an 8mm socket on a ratchet. We're going to use Plastidip here, which is a plastic composite paint. So here's a Griffin we did yesterday. We just did it with one coat, so it's really scrappy looking, but the idea is that if you're fed up with it, you can find a section of it and you can kind of remove it in almost one go. So it's decent if you fall out of love with the colour or you want to do something else. Now this one got quite wet underneath, which is why it didn't quite adhere so well, but as I said, it was kind of a one coat thing just to show the qualities of the paint. And we're just going to need some masking tape and some newspaper because the front Griffin badge is actually a bit of a pain in the backside and it is more hassle removing it than it is masking it. So first of all, we get this section off. Two Torx T15s up here, and I'm just going to move them now. So it's just held on with little clips here, so don't be afraid, just give it a good pull. Now if you've watched some of our previous videos, you'll know we've already done our rear wiper delete, so you'll see that in here. If not, you would have your wiper motor attached here. It's a mod that we fairly like, so if you just click on that video from here, you can actually do both at the same time, which will be pretty cool. So the only thing holding on our Griffin now are these two nuts here. They're 8mm, and our power cable for the electric boot assembly. And it should just lift off now. Now if you look here, you can see the reverse side of the boot assembly is still on, so we're just going to have to kind of tease that out from this side here. There we go. And that is our rear Griffin off. To me it seems like a bit of an overly complicated assembly. Next step for us is going to be to mask all the way around here, so we're only getting Plastidip on this chrome section here. So as with any painting process, it's important to totally degrease and decontaminate the surface. It just allows for better paint adhesion. But unlike other painting, we're not going to scuff the surface or otherwise cause any abrasion to help the paint adhere, because it kind of defeats the purpose of it being peelable if you've already scuffed up your surface underneath. So we're just going to leave it. Should be fine. And while that all evaporates, the can demands 2 minutes of shaking. Right, so the first coat is not going to be all that thick. We're just going to make sure and give it a nice good grip coat. Come down the other side, in case you over. That should be enough for coat number one, and we'll give that enough time to dry and we'll finish masking the front one. So we really do not want to end up with a case of clogged nozzle like this suggests. It sounds really painful. If you do come down with a case of clogged nozzle, please see a doctor. Okay, for the front one, what we're going to do is we're going to mask, if you bring the camera closer. if you were painting, you'd want your mask line as close as possible to this chrome bit, because any overspray is unremovable. Okay, what we're going to do is, because we're using Plastidip, we're allowed a nice big gap here. What that will allow us to do is take a small razor blade and kind of cut around here first and then remove the rest of the masking. Now, in an ideal world, you would mask nice and close, you would spray it, and you would remove all your paper, your masking paper and tape while the Plastidip's wet, but I'm too lazy for that. So instead we're going to try this razor blade method. It might work, it might not, but we'll see. Right, so that's our masking job finished, and you can see we've kind of left this entire area free, and as I said earlier, that'll allow us to cut in and hopefully get a nice clean line. If you mask flush with it, when you take off your masking paper, you're just going to take all your plastic dip stuff with it. So again, as before, we've kind of cleaned the surface, but if you look a little bit closer, it's quite chipped. So I'm not entirely sure how the plastic coat's going to adhere to that, but we'll see. This is the first coat dried now, and it does give a really nice sort of matte finish. It looks really cool. Only bits you'll start to notice are bits that I've missed because of the angle was wrong, so I've kind of propped it up with this little airline lid here. So we're getting this kind of speckly effect where it's not quite thick enough. But as I said, it's a grip coat, so the new paint is going to adhere to this bit a lot easier now, and it will hopefully just build up coat after coat. I think we're going to aim for about 3 coats in this, give it a really high quality finish. So that's the first coat being given adequate time to dry. And you'll notice this kind of speckly effect, that's just where there's not been enough to build up, so we're just going to kind of target those areas. It's really important with this stuff that you leave it to dry properly and make sure there's no sort of tackiness or anything to it. It's a bit like laminating sort of a damp sheet of card. If you were to laminate it with a sort of pouches inside your machine, the stuff inside would never ever get a chance to dry out. And it's like this, like the stuff here, so make sure it's really nice and dry and then build up your second coat here. This is our background all sprayed, and as I've said, it's a sort of peelable surface, so if you ever get fed up with it, you can just rip it off. So from here we're just going to replace it the exact same way as we removed it, making sure the electrical connection goes through, making sure that can be connected. We'll do our bolts first, just kind of retain it in place. Gone in here. We're going to give this a test first. So this is sort of the finished look. Depends if you like it or not. Some people are a huge fan, some people not so much. Remember to tighten up these 2 nuts, because if they're too loose you could get water in behind the badge. After that we're just going to relocate this boot lining section here. So these are going to go up into there. Have a quick look, make sure they line up, and just give them a little bit of gentle persuasion, and they'll go back on. And remember to replace your screws. That's been given plenty of time to dry. We gave it 3 coats. You can see sometimes you get a kind of rubbery, grippy effect, but that's one of the purposes of Plastidip, so don't be worried about that. If you're happy with the look, you can just use proper paint and you'll avoid this whole issue. Next we're going to use a modelling knife, and all we've done is cut around the edge here, and that's just to stop it sticking to the mask when we pull it off. So by weakening this surface, I'm hoping that when we remove the mask, we've kind of forced it to rip in the way we want. Ooh, and that's how to plaster dip a badge. So if you're happy with this look, use regular paint and you won't have any of that nonsense. Additionally, just to add a better seal, what we're going to do is we're going to spray some of this. And if you're into model painting, or if you go to any model stores, you can pick up a little brush like this. This we've got free with a Warhammer thing. And we're just going to paint on around the edge here. Let's bring the camera closer. We're just going to kind of paint the edge here, and we're just going to kind of seal. So the purpose of this video was just to kind of show a subscriber how to do something that they'd asked us in the comments. I'm not entirely a huge fan of this look, so I'm going to remove it now. This can be done, obviously, if you're doing it with paint. You don't have the same freedom of removal, so make sure that you like the look first. But as I said, for us it was just a bit of fun to kind of show a subscriber. There you go, and back to factory standard. So gives you a lot of freedom, but it depends whether you like the look. If you like the look, you could spray it properly black and maybe give it a little bit of lacquer as well, but that's us for now. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to like the video and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.